Hello everyone. Busy weekend. Means one thing. Time to go wild. The Time to Go Wild podcast is back with you for another week, bringing you a little roundup of things that have been happening for your YKK Widnes Wild and other teams are from Planet Ice Widnes, and a bit more from around the leagues. Of course, we are available via YouTube, and Podbean, also with Google Podcasts and Amazon Music Podcasts. If you want to contact us throughout the week, you can do on radio@widneswild.co.uk or via Facebook or Twitter.com/TTGW radio. Oh, time to breathe and review. You know what it is. For hockey in this area, it's time to go wild. Hello and welcome once again to the Time to Go Wild radio podcast. Busy weekend at Planet Ice Widnes for the YKK Widnes Wild. You might tell my voice is a little bit hoarse after the weekend's events. I'm surprised it survived Saturday. Such a big crowd when the D-side Dragons made their return after three sort of seasons. And, of course, it was then the Nottingham Lions on Sunday. Well, what a chalk and cheese style of games they were. We hope you've all been keeping well, of course, and getting your week off to a good start. So, I suppose the first thing we should do is our usual little roundup. As you hear me rustle my pages, it's time for the scores. Here we go with the scores. We've only got Elite League and EIHA League at the moment. So here we go. Elite League from Saturday. Challenge Cup. Guildford Flames 3. Cardiff Devils 4. Manchester Storm 4. Sheffield Steelers 5 after overtime. And on Sunday, Fife Flyers 7. Glasgow Clan 2. In the league for the Elite League. On Thursday, Sheffield Steelers 3, Guildford Flames 4 after overtime. On Friday, Cardiff Devils 5, Nottingham Panthers 1. On Saturday, Dundee Stars 1, Belfast Giants 7, Glasgow Clan 4, Coventry Blaze 5 after a shootout. Nottingham Panthers 1, Fife Flyers 3. On Sunday, Belfast Giants 2, Guildford Flames 4. Dundee Stars 0, Sheffield Steelers 5. Coventry Blaze 5, Manchester Storm 4. Planet Ice NIHL National League. On Saturday, Milton Keynes Lightning 6, Basingstoke Bison 2. Bristol Pitbulls 6, Bees 5 after a shootout. Hull Seahawks 2, Raiders 6. Swindon Wildcats 2, Peterborough Phantoms 5. Sheffield Steel Dogs 1, Telford Tigers 3. On Sunday, Basingstoke Bison 5, Bristol Pitbulls 3. Bees 8, Hull Seahawks 3. Telford Tigers 4, Milton Keynes Lightning 3. Leeds Knights 6, Raiders 3. Peterborough Phantoms 3, Sheffield Steel Dogs 2 after overtime. NIHL Division 1 North Morley action. Getting in a twist. It was M56 Cup action on Saturday. YKK Widnes Wild 4, D-side Dragons 6. And league action on the Sunday. Solihull Barons 9, Billingham Stars 3. Whitley Warriors 8, D-side Dragons 2. And Widnes Wild 4, Nottingham Lions 1. In Division 2 North Laidler, on Saturday, Bradford Bulldogs 1, Hull Jets 8, Telford Tigers N2 11, Nottingham Lions N2 1, Coventry NIHL Blaze 5, Sheffield Titans 4, and on Sunday, Sutton Sting 0, Telford Tigers N2 2. Nottingham Lions N2 4, Coventry NIHL Blaze 3 after overtime. That's the scores from around the leagues. Well, what a weekend that was, and a quick roundup. We will be trying to get our best to collate in as many of the usual leagues as we can. We've got the Women's League to come, particularly more so when the Widnes Wild ladies get back into action in next weekend, in fact. And we also will be bringing you as many of the junior fixtures as possible when we get them collated. Of course, as many of you out there are aware, there are still some technical issues with the online scoring system. Since Fixtures Live has finally been taken offline, the new system Sportle is in testing. There's a few glitches coming up, to be expected, I suppose. But hopefully Sportle will be with us soon for the EIHA leagues, and that will be a massive, massive help to everybody to make sure things are all collated and the league tables are all up to date as quickly as possible. So, in this day of fast information, people like to see things early. So that's sort of a key thing that we are all very, very focused on these days. Unfortunately, I can't really give you much on the EIHA standings. However, a quick look at the Elite League standings, and in the league, quite interesting this season. At the moment, you've got Glasgow Clan in 10th position, Dundee Stars in 9th, Fife Flyers in 8th, Belfast Giants in 7th, but they've only played 2 games. Most of the other clubs have played at least 5 games, and Belfast have only played 2 games. So they're 7th. And then Nottingham are 6th, Manchester Storm 5th, Cardiff Devils are 4th, Sheffield Steelers in 3rd, Coventry Blaze 2nd, and top of the shop currently are the Guildford Flames. So Guildford have been off to quite a flying start this year in the Elite League. The cup tables in the Elite League are a little bit more varied because of the way the cups are set up. So you've got Group A is Belfast top of their group at the moment, with then Fife, Dundee and Glasgow 1, 2, 3 and 4. Group B is Guildford Flames top of that group, with Coventry in 2nd and Cardiff in 3rd. And in Group C, Sheffield are top of that group, with Manchester Storm 2nd and the Nottingham Panthers in 3rd place. So I'm not sure how the qualifications go at the moment for the next round of the Elite League Cup. I'll have a look into that in a couple of weeks, because now with it being a 3 group stage, it's a little more confusing than the previous 2 group stage that they used to have. I know it's been like that for a couple of years, but with being more connected with the EIHA related cup and league systems, it can you get a bit distanced from it. But that's what I can do for the Elite League. Unfortunately for the EIHA leagues, I'm a little bit more stranded at the moment, but we will bring you as much of that as we can. Now, quick look at the game sheets from Saturday and Sunday for the YKK Widnes Wild. Quick fire stuff on Saturday against the D-Side Dragons. They came out the blocks firing 46 seconds. Ross Kennedy from MJ Clancy and Alex Parry at 46 seconds. That was so quick. And then 10 seconds later, Alex Parry from MJ, 2-0 up D-Side Dragons. It's like, yikes. Widnes answered back quickly, 1 minute 14 on delayed penalty. Joe Greaves from Chris G and Mikey Gilbert, and then a power play goal then at 3:22. It was Andy Hopkins from Jonathan Williamson and Rich Hagger. Then Wild went into a lead at 12:14. Mikey Gilbert from Joe Greaves and Tom Jackson. And at 17:06, Wild took a 2-goal lead. It was Joe Coulter from Reese Edwards and Rich Hagger. Second period, though, the swing went back to D-Side's favour. Mark Lovell with an unassisted goal at 33:38. And then Matt Wainwright from James Parsons and Josh Richardson at 36-56 to level it at the end of the second period. And then they took control in the third, 47-23 on the clock. Well, played, I should say. Jared Dickinson from Andrew McKinney. And then at 50-42, Matt Wainwright again from Andrew McKinney. Final score there, 6-4 in favour of D-side in the Cup. So that was the M56 Cup game. Sunday, on the other hand, very different team in the Nottingham Lions, very different style of play. A few changes in the Wild lineup due to availabilities, and, well, very different scoreline. Took till 9:56 to open the score in. Rich Hagger from Joe Coulter and Rhys Edwards. Then 1-0 end of the first. Second period, another 1-goal period. 27 minutes 10 seconds. Rich Hagger from Joe Coulter. That was the end of this. That was for the second. Third period, Nottingham got a bit of a wind. Zach Yokoyama from Connor Glossop and Miles Keogh. 1-goal game. 2-1 in favour of Widnes. Again, quite tense. Nottingham were really getting a second wind. Then at 44 minutes and 2 seconds, short-handed, Matt Barlow from Tom Jackson gave the 2-goal lead restored. Nottingham went for it in the final couple of minutes, pulled the goaltender, but at 58-27, though Nottingham had the player advantage, the net was empty. Puck fell to Joe Coulter. It passed it through, reached Rhys Edwards. Rhys flipped it down the ice. Empty net goal. Final score, Widnes Wild 4, Nottingham Lions 1. And, well, that was that. Both games, believe it or not, were quite low in penalty minutes. On Saturday, it was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 minutes for D-side, 9 minutes of penalties for Widnes. That includes the fighting penalty between MJ and Matt Barlow. And then on Sunday, it was only 2 minutes of penalties for Nottingham and 10 minutes of penalties, all in 2-minute minors, for Widnes. So, to be honest, they were actually quite quiet games on the penalty front, but definitely a bone-crunching game on Saturday. One important mention is to the family of Chris G. The little one got hit on the head by one of the pucks. I think it was on Sunday, but the little one's okay, and we do wish the little one well and all the family well. But thankfully, no lasting damage. Probably a big bump on the head, unfortunately, but all okay. So thank goodness that we got that news through the other day. So anyone who's been concerned about the little one, they're okay. They've been to hospital, been checked out, and all well. Phew. Final thing before we I say now is our usual little bit. Managed to catch up with Danny Hayde after the game on Sunday, and this is what he had to say.
Busy weekend down at Planet Ice Widnes for the YKK Widnes Wild. Saturday night it was a first time in probably 3 years the D-side Dragons were in town. Not quite the result we were after, but then tonight, Sunday, it's the Nottingham Lions. I've caught up with Danny Hayde, who's along with the rest of the guys had rather a busy weekend. First we'll start with Saturday. Bitter one, that.
Yeah, let's start with Sunday. No, just kidding. Like the entire game didn't really work out the way we wanted to. We had a solid plan, I think. And then we went in the game, and I think we were 2-0 down within less than a minute. Weirdly, 2 minutes later, the game was equalized again, and the entire first period was just a bit wild, pun intended. And then I think we felt good after the first, but we didn't really get our foot in the door from that point for reasons that Hux probably can explain better than me. But it just didn't really go our way, and we'll make it better next time.
Yeah, in the end, it was just one of those nights. very, very hard playing physical team. A lot of the players the D side may not have played on the ice for quite a little while due to COVID lockdowns and not being available to play. But they've played alongside each other for a number of years, so they do know how they play instinctively. And it's still early doors, really, for the season.
Yeah, they definitely had a plan. Their plan worked. They were very physical. I think they're size-wise much bigger than our team. So they played to their strengths, and we struggled with that a bit. But we will evaluate that, we'll adapt, and next time it's a different game.
I mean, in terms of what was viewed by looking out of the pad and onto the sidelines and round the rink into the stands, it was a packed house, and a noisy packed house at that.
I think I said it the last time you asked me a similar thing. I don't pay attention to the crowd mid-game, but I'll just believe you here. But no, it's just the skating out first bit. That's the only time I really look around, and it's just fantastic to skate out and just see you've got someone to strengthen your back no matter what. It's obviously a bit upsetting that it then didn't quite go our way. But still, they were there, and next time we'll make it better, and we'll hopefully be there again.
Well, I mean, they were noisy even when the scoreline didn't quite go the way we were hoping from the Wild's perspective. I mean, they were still noisy, still backing you, and making plenty of noise to keep you going, and you never know, sometimes in that final 2 minutes it can turn a game on its head yet again.
Yeah, it can. And if I don't miss a wide open net on a breakaway, we might turn the game around. I think even though it didn't go our way, we had our chances. We had everything we needed to win it. Sometimes you just leave it on the table for different reasons. But yeah, as I said, we're looking forward now. And next time it's a different game, and I don't think they'll have such a good time then.
And well, I mean, tonight, reset button pressed, very different style of team of the Nottingham Lions in the way they play, the way they skate, the tactics, the physicality. It's a more flowing style of play for the bulk of it. And, well, the scoreline 4-1 in the end. Nice to sort of round the week off and put Saturday night to bed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, very different team, absolutely. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter. I think we're strong enough to force our game onto every team in this league. And we couldn't manage that yesterday. Today we did and controlled it throughout most of it. Had a few chances more that we could have used. I think we outshot them, we outworked them, which against Nottingham means something because that's usually what you can't do, outwork Nottingham. So they worked hard, they played well, but we actually played our game. And yeah, focused on what we have to do right, and that worked out. It was good.
It was a tough game. There was plenty of chances both ways. Nottingham were driving the net, a couple of big chances, and Nottingham's goalie was playing well as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both netminders. Shout out Miles Finney, absolute star. Yeah, I think both netminders played fantastic, played really well. Or the scoreline would have been way different in this.
I mean, Miles has shown his worth. He's earned the Player of the Month, of course, for September. But anything can happen next month. I mean, to be honest, you've had a few rattles of the old noggin recently, and you're managing to bounce back and play well.
Yeah, I think Miles just managed to create the most fake Twitter accounts. I'm kidding. He's absolutely deserved that. Every single game, he's kept us in it for as long as humanly possible. And yeah, I'm slowly coming back. I somehow managed to pick up another injury very early in the season, which is slightly upsetting. But I'm playing again. My training on Thursday looked really good. I'm staying a bit cautious in games at the moment, which isn't really holding me back, but it was good to get a bit less ice time, and as this little precaution to send some other people that really deserve their ice time as well. And it gave me a bit of a relief to not having to play in the last period. So yeah, but I'm getting back into it, and they can't take their spots for granted because I want my ice time as well.
Oh, well, I mean, you can see just how much desire there is amongst all of the team. I mean, of course, it's been a bit of a restructure as well, losing a few players, and your translator as well. That interview last season, we'll quickly touch on it. It was inspired. It was an inspired idea.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. From my side, it was very spontaneous. I don't know if he's planned that for months or even the entire season. And yeah, I think it was a good time to get a bit of a laugh in, right? Like I think it was before playoffs, but our place or the standings wouldn't have changed anymore, no matter how the game goes. So we'll just try to keep attention, like keep interest up a bit, have a bit of a good time. So we might come up with a good idea this year at the end of the season. So stay tuned.
I mean, it showed how well the dressing room was last year. You know, the dressing room looks as good this year. And that's a key thing for having a good team ethic. Everyone sort of working together and playing hard each week.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's not just last season. That's also this season. If we pull the same direction, and that should be the aim. We're all here to win, but also to have fun. And as long as we're pulling the same direction, I don't think there's many teams that can keep up with us or stop us. We have, especially forward-wise, we have a lot of depth at the moment. So even if we miss players. I think Greavesy scored yesterday. We didn't have him available today. But it almost doesn't matter who we miss for whatever reason. We can compensate that and still play fast and good ice hockey with 3 lines, and that is. I think that's a blessing. Sometimes it's a bit of a tough choice for Hux as coach, probably. But that's not my decision, so I don't care.
Everyone works hard. Everyone gets their spot when they can and takes the chances when they can. We've had some of the juniors coming through as well, and a few extra players boosting the squad. It's an ever-evolving sport, it's an ever-evolving season, an ever-evolving team. Main thing is everyone plays to their strengths and they all contribute.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just said it, everyone plays to their strengths. And as long as we do that, which we didn't really yesterday, we were a bit run over by a very physical, very strong team. And today we played our game, and you see how it goes, because if I had to guess, I'd guess Nottingham will be above D-side in the standings at the end of the season. But we couldn't pull off our game plan, didn't play to our strengths yesterday, did that today, and had a much better time at the end of the day.
Well, at least tonight it's going to be a little bit more of a pleasant trip home for you. The wins are always that bit better when you're going home than they're a loss. So at least there's a smile on everyone's faces after today. That's the main thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm taking Finney and Joey today back home. So I think we'll have a great good time in the car. And yeah, looking forward now to Thursday next week and game next weekend, and then we'll see where it goes. Well, I think we got everything we need to keep the winning up and to have a good time here in Widnes.
Well, that's the important thing, isn't it? Momentum. Well, thanks for joining me. You take care of yourself, keep fit and well, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, mate. See you soon.
Thanks, Danny. And of course, it's always very welcoming to have important interviews with the players after the game. You know, there's a lot of chance. Sometimes it's, give them a bit of a chance to calm themselves down. There's such high adrenaline, and they have a bit of a breather. And of course, you'll have seen all the photographs from the last few games of the signings. So the table all laid out with the shirts, and everyone able to go around. Some of the comical signings we're seeing. Fantastic stuff. It is what we want to see when it comes to hockey, though. People with a bit of a sense of humour. However, sometimes things like this happen.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
And why are we having the sound of the police? Well, big penalties were announced on the 8th of October, and it affects several teams. So we're not singling out any team in particular, but I'll read the article taken from the EIHA's website, and this is ouch reading, I will say. So the discipline team have been reviewing some games from the NIHL, and the first one is from an NIHL 2 North game between the Sutton Sting and the Nottingham Lions. An incident at the final buzzer saw several major penalties assessed, and at the same game it turned out Sutton had iced an already suspended player. So For Sutton Sting, James Spencer has received a match penalty for cross-checking and a match penalty for fighting. And the penalty for the cross-check is at Tier 3 and has given him an 8-game suspension. The fighting penalty is a Tier 2, which has a 4-game suspension. The player has reached 10 penalty points and receives an additional 2 games. Ouch. Cameron Akers was penalised for leaving the bench and for fighting. He's suspended for 6 games for leaving the bench. It's a Tier 2. And 4 games for fighting at Tier 2. He's also reached 10 penalty points and is suspended for a further 2 games. Ow! Cameron Kushnarenko receives a match penalty for fighting. This player was already subject to a suspension from the 24th of September and was actually ineligible to play. He receives 4-game suspension for the fighting penalty, assessed at Tier 2. He receives additional 2-game suspension for playing while suspended and 3 games for reaching 15 penalty points. The hearing was held regarding the playing of a suspended player, and the game has also been awarded 5-0 to Nottingham, and there's been a 2-game suspension issued to bench coach Craig Russell and 10 points added to the Sutton record for the season. Ouch. And that was for Sutton. Then for Nottingham Lions, this is the N2 Nottingham Lions, I should say. Tyler Poole was penalised for leaving the bench. 2 fighting incidents and abuse of official. The original game misconduct for abuse has been upgraded to match, as the player re-entered the playing surface to abuse the official and to square up to him on the ice. Ow. Poole has been issued the following suspensions. Here we go. Got a pen and paper ready, everyone. 6 for leaving the player's bench. It's a Tier 2. 4 games for each of the fighting penalties. Tier 2. So that's 2 fighting penalties there. 8 games in total. And 8 games for abuse of an official. The player also crossed 2 penalty point thresholds and receives 2 games for 10 points and another 3 games for 15 points. Ouch. That's a lot of penalties. A lot of penalty suspensions there. And there's more, as someone used to say. In the NIHL, Altrincham Aces goalie and goalie for the YKK Widnes Wild, it is as well, Evan Coles. He received a match penalty for roughing on the 1st of October and has been suspended for 1 game, and that game will have to be served under Altrincham Aces. So once Altrincham have played their next game, that will be Evans served his penalty, his suspension, and then he's free to play again for both Aces and Wild. Chelmsford Chieftains Grant Bartlett was given a match penalty for fighting on the 2nd of October. It's been assessed as a Tier 2 and the player suspended for 4 games. And finally, Basingstoke Buffalo goalie Morgan Parsons was assessed a match penalty for roughing, using their blocker to punch an unwilling opponent after the final buzzer. This is assessed as Tier 3 and the player receives an 8-game suspension. Ooh. If you want to find out any more, go to eiha.co.uk/NIHL-discipline. Ouch.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
And that's the end of that bit. Ooh. There's going to be a bit of a line drawn under a number of them and a few people going to bed without any supper. So yeah, it's a busy time for sure. Of course, coming back to the Widnes, 2 big games over the weekend, 2 big 50-50 draws. Once again, a big thank you to our sellers for 50-50s and for the Ducks for making sure that things were going smoothly as usual. And both of the games, we managed over £100 in the prize kitty once again. Congratulations to our winners of both of those prizes. Of course, there'll be another big 50-50 at our next home game, which I will let you know about shortly. So, time for this little bit. Of course, if you want to know about everything to do with your YKK Widnes Wild and other Widnes related stuff, you can check them out on widneswild.co.uk. We also have Facebook and Twitter.com/WidnesWild. Change Widnes Wild to TTGW Radio, and that's for the radio show. You can also check out Instagram.com/WidnesWildOfficial, and the YouTube page widneswild.com/WidnesWild Ice Hockey Club. Excuse me. We also have our sponsors to thank as always. Title sponsor YKK. Home penalty box sponsor Fresco Environmental. We also have Sprakes and Son of Widnes, MPG, Crosscheck Clothing, Puck Drop, University of Salford, and our charity again this year is the Halton Haven Hospice. Finally, keep your eyes out for away travel information, because this weekend, of course, the Widnes Wild, as in YKK Wild, are not at home. They are on the road. So, I would give you the junior fixtures, but unfortunately, I haven't got them all collated at the moment, and they are still subject to a bit of change. Sorry for this. Hopefully we'll get things sorted in the coming weeks. However, what I can bring you are YKK Widnes Wild and Widnes Wild Ladies fixtures for the next few weekends. Starting with Sunday the 16th of October. The Billingham Stars host your YKK Widnes Wild up in Billingham, 5:30 p.m. Keep an eye out on social media for the away travel information. If you're not going up to Billingham, why not come down to Planet Ice Widnes, support the Widnes Wild Ladies as they take on the Whitley Bay Beacons. The time I've got here is 4:15, so that's Sunday 4:15. On Saturday 22nd of October, Solway Sharks host your YKK Widnes Wild at 7 p.m. And then on Sunday, YKK Widnes Wild are back at Planet Ice Widnes and they play the Billingham Stars at 5:30 p.m. Saturday 29th of October, Sheffield Scimitars host Widnes Wild, YKK Widnes Wild that is, at 7:30 p.m. down in Sheffield. And on Sunday the 30th, the Widnes Wild Ladies are at home at Planet Ice Widnes and they face the Sheffield Shadows at 4:15. And then the first weekend we have of November, on Saturday, November the 5th, it's going to be a bit of a bonfire night. D-Side Dragons host the YKK Widnes Wild in an M56 Cup game, 5:15. Now that game is scheduled to be taking place at D-Side. Let's hope the D-Side rink's ready. So yeah, Saturday 5th of November, that should be D-Side Dragons hosting the Widnes Wild at 5:15. It's an M56 Cup game. And then on Sunday the 6th of November, back to Planet Ice Widnes, league action. Visitors are the D-Side Dragons, 5:30 p.m. face-off for that. Oh boy, it's going to be a busy couple of weekends. Also keep your eyes and ears open for the junior fixtures. We will get them to you and out on social media as soon as we can. So, what else do we have? Well, in terms of a lot of the normal features, we will try and get as many of them back to you as we can throughout the season. Of course, each week there's going to be player signings, all being well, at the rink after the games. And we will try and bring you more Time to Go Wild radio as we go throughout the season. And you never know, we might get a couple of round tables in as well. Just a case of letting some of the dust settle on a few things at the moment. Things have been a bit hectic, and we will hopefully start bringing you some of the usual features. I think that's about it for this podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. Usual sort of half-hour little roundup from me to you, hockey fans out there, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Enjoy your hockey wherever you get it. Hope to see you at a match very, very soon. Either way, enjoy your hockey. Till I catch you next time. Ta-ra!